1, 2, 3, 4. All right, welcome back to Country and Cold Cans. I'm Logan sitting here with Trucker Andy and Kyle. We're back after taking a week off over Memorial Day week. Be sure to give us 5 stars and a great review on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Amazon. In the description, there's a link that says click here to leave us a voicemail. Any questions, any comments, any artists you want to check out, there's the spot to do it, and we will respond to you next week. Check out the website countryandcoldcans.com for blog content and merch. We have hats, t-shirts, and koozies right there for you on the shop, countryandcoldcans.com/shop. All right, boys. I'm going to just kick off with something that's not totally music related, but I have not been able, the media is not covering this. I saw something about it on Twitter, got to reading into it, and I'm curious about it, is really what it is. But apparently there's like a whistleblower, so to speak, somebody from the intelligence community was high up in the intel stuff, and he was saying that the U.S. government has aircrafts that have been fully intact, some of them partially intact, that was not human made, and that they've been studying things like this for decades, and that's like been part of the reason why our technology has improved so much in like the aircrafts and war stuff. I mean, have you guys heard this?
I would have heard of Andy.
I haven't heard this one, but I've heard similar stuff like that. Well, the guy that was on Rogan, I don't know, 2 years ago.
Bob Lazar.
Lazar. I've heard that. Yeah. That's basically what he said.
So yeah, that is what Bob Lazar said. But see, Bob Lazar is treated as being like crazy, right? But this guy is very well respected, and there's people that are involved in that stuff who recently in the past have said that he's beyond reproach in terms of like his trustability. And I'm curious about this because I don't think that it's not true. I don't necessarily say that it's true, but it's not like it's implausible. It's just the fact that I'm questioning because there have been some like pretty good, like almost like evidence about this allegedly, but the media is not covering it.
So when it comes to aliens, 1000%, I agree with aliens. Did you guys ever watch? I know Andy, you're a big fan. The dude that went on Rogan that was, what was that Netflix series they did where he does the thing? He like says that humans had an ancient civilization prior to modern technology.
Yeah, I've heard about this before.
Graham Hancock.
Yes, that guy. Yes.
I haven't seen the show, but I know what you're talking about. I heard the.
Oh, dude, the show is amazing. Logan, I would advise you to watch it. You have my Netflix login. Use it while you still.
Ancient Apocalypse.
Ancient Apocalypse.
Okay. I was
yes,
gonna say,
it is.
Dude,
it is wild. I went down a rabbit hole. I'm a big conspiracy theorist, but all right. So I 100% believe the Graham Hancock theory that humans were much further advanced before Christ, and that's how he explains some of the structures that are thousands. Yeah, the pyramids. And then for some reason, a lot of knowledge was extensively lost.
Right.
Anyway, when it comes to aliens, I do believe in aliens. However, my problem with the conspiracy theory of aliens is nothing stays a secret in the government.
They're not true, but not true anymore. Because we found out that a lot of things that have been classified for a long time that suddenly have been declassified that stayed a secret. You had your people on the fringes that were like raising questions, but I used to agree with you. I used to agree with you on that, but now I'm kind of like, if it's the right group of people high up in these situations in government with the right clearances, they can classify some shit and they can keep things under wraps. I'm starting to come around a little bit on that stuff.
However, with this particular one, I have 2 major problems with this. The timing only. Do I believe they have found alien spacecraft? Yes. It's when did we make the B-2 bomber? I think they've used alien tech for a while.
Reverse engineer it.
Yes, exactly. My only thing is, because I am so conspiratorial, is I believe this is a false flag for a number of reasons, not to go too far down the political rabbit hole. We just found out that Ukraine probably bombed the Nord Stream 2 pipeline after they said it was Russia. There's some alleged counteroffensive that most people, if you read like really military, somebody blew a dam up. That doesn't look good. And if you follow politics and you read, a lot of people don't really think this counteroffensive is going to work. So it just seems like a great time to dump some wild ass news. So you don't look over here and we look over here. Also, economic news, it doesn't look very good. That's why I'm all in like why now?
You know why my big issue? I agree that those things happen, right? So let's establish that. But the thing that I don't agree with you on this one is because it's not news. The news isn't covering this. If this was strictly the corporate media is in the fucking tank for whatever vested interest on the left and the right in the establishment, right? People are like, oh, here we go. This is a music podcast. But they're in the corporate media is in the tank.
Yeah, sure.
They would be covering this if it was like you said, a false flag. They're not covering this. This isn't mainstream news
yet. It just came out like 2 days ago.
Yeah, but but
they don't go that deep down the rabbit hole though. That's what I'm saying. They have a narrow field of view, and if it gets really big, they'll cover it. Like
the media loves to cover things that are distraction issues. Like people on both sides of the aisle agree on.
Like the space balloon. It took 3 days for them to. Not the space balloon, the Chinese spy balloon. People had found that in Montana. Some random newspaper found it and just took a picture of it, and then it took them 2 or 3 days to pick it up. The other problem I have with this story is I don't know the guy that said it. I don't know him from a hole in the wall. However, I am
any of these people either.
Yeah. However, I'm incredibly skeptical of a lot of these leakers because it's a fast track to get a damn book deal.
That's true. I don't know. I kind of agree with Kyle. The best theory I ever heard, like on Roswell, is that what was Roswell? The
40 is New Mexico. It's 47. It's right for World War II. Yeah, it was either 47 or 49. I can't remember.
I heard the best theory I've heard from that is it's very likely that the government was doing human experiments out there. And that was the best diversion from that. Because everybody else in the world at the time was doing human experiments, but allegedly we weren't. So that was a good cover up for them to. That's what they were doing. Be like, no, it's aliens, man.
Oh yeah, well we know now that they 100% were doing that. They were doing like psychedelics on. There's a conspiracy theory that Ted Kaczynski was a victim of some kind of weird CIA experiment in the 1960s when he was it Caltech or MIT? I can't remember, wherever he went. And
is that one MK Ultra?
Yeah. And he went crazy from it. They also were doing horrible things on African Americans, like injecting syphilis.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they injected them with like syphilis to see. Yeah,
that's fucked up.
And you got the whole Tuskegee experiments. Yeah, they absolutely were doing human experiments. But I'm incredibly skeptical of a lot of things.
See, yeah, but like I understand the skepticism because I share it, but this is something that's like for you as a skeptical person, or both of you as a skeptical person, that this should be right up your alley. Because until I see CNN, Fox News, MSNBC covering this, I don't agree. The moment this becomes big time news across corporate mainstream media, then I'll start to be like, okay, maybe I'm a little bit weary of it. But while it's still on some like lower level website that it's on now, and there are people in the media with some following on Twitter with some following picking it up, But it's not the mainstream. Once
Well,
it's
see-
the mainstream, I get more skeptical of things.
Well, see, my thing about the whole false
You
flag.
can't claim false flag if the media is in the tank, dude. They are.
Oh yeah, I 100% agree. All right, but my thing about false flags is most conspiracy theorists are hyper online. So just leak it to Twitter. They'll fall for it. Hook, line, and sinker. They don't. Most conspiracy theorists aren't like watching Rachel Maddow. They're just normal people.
They're on
watch.
Reddit.
Yeah, they're on
Yeah.
Reddit and 4chan and 8chan and
Right, but
these are the
but
people
you're
that
not
pick this up.
But you're not making a good point for your overarching point.
No, because those people
if
don't
you
watch
wanted to-
the news.
If it's a distraction point, then why would the conspiracy theorists be in the tank for the establishment to create a distraction? That doesn't make any sense.
Because those people are hyper online. They're on Discord. Those are the same people that found that like 20-year-old at an Air Force base that leaked out those Ukraine docs.
But
those
people are talking about this. I'm not even talking about it's the corporate media obviously isn't, but this isn't a major thing on social media either. This is just like it's.
Well, I don't venture down the rabbit hole of Reddit and 4chan. But
like I'm on the very surface level of social media, and this isn't this is dominating. This is kind of like you run across it once or maybe twice.
What day did the news drop? Did it drop on Monday or did it drop on like
Monday?
Okay, so it wasn't a Friday afternoon long weekend dropped. Interesting.
Let me see what I can't remember. I'll have to look up and see when the actual article was put out.
Because as a communications person, you drop bad news on Friday.
You drop bad news on Friday, yeah, because it gets lost.
No one cares. Yeah, no one cares.
Today's Wednesday for context to the listeners.
Yes.
Yeah, when we're recording, it's Wednesday. This will be if you're listening to it first day it's available. It'll be a Thursday.
I am curious.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I saw it on Twitter. I know who posted it. I'm gonna see if I can find it here.
Yeah, but the CIA, they do some fucked up stuff.
Yeah. Well, we're probably on a list after this episode with Joe Rogan.
Oh, I probably am. I probably am on a list somewhere. One of my favorite memes on the internet is the guy in the FBI van where he's like taking his headphones off when he's like tapping. Have you ever seen it? He's he's in a surveillance van. He's like taking his headphones off and throwing it. Yeah. Because he's listening in on somebody's phone call and he's like disgusted. I feel like that might be the FBI listening to me. Like this sick fuck.
Be like, this guy loves conspiracies. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to find it. Twitter, people tweet too damn much.
Now, I'm not like a crazy conspiracy theorist. We have a vendor at work who's like in the tank on all the conspiracy theories. Like he doesn't believe some birds are real.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, like they shit on your car so they can listen.
Surveillance.
Yeah, they shit on your car so they can listen to you with small microphones. They sit on the power lines to recharge. Yeah. Yeah, he's in the tank, bro. I don't buy into that one, but he's all into it.
I listen to all of them, probably. I don't believe many of them.
Yeah, 95 to 90%. Some of them are quite convincing. But
MK Ultra is pretty convincing.
That's like a fact. That's been declassified.
Yeah,
now.
I think that's still in the conspiracy world, but it's basically, this happened.
Yeah. It's like Alex Jones.
It was Monday, June 5th, when the story was put out.
It's like Alex Jones. Sometimes he says like crazy shit about Sandy Hook, but then sometimes he says some shit about some weird pedophiles, and you're like, okay, he's probably not wrong there.
Yeah, I mean, he's a lunatic, but he definitely has been right on some things. I don't listen to Alex Jones because he's a crazy man who said some.
Oh, you're not a subscriber to InfoWars, bro?
No, but I couldn't tell. I'm a little bit skeptical of those guys, but yeah, I mean, but he's not 100% wrong on some of the stuff he said.
Oh yeah, he's a crazy. I love his.
The funniest thing,
Rogan, they're fucking wild.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious, especially when he gets high on there. But he starts screaming about interdimensional demons. But the funniest thing that ever came out was when he was like, they're putting fluoride in the water and they're turning the freaking frogs gay, right?
Yeah.
So then, CNN, 2 years later, put out a story saying that the chemicals being put in the water made the frogs turn hermaphroditic. So Alex wasn't 100% right, but he wasn't totally wrong.
It wasn't a complete miss. He's crazy, bro. People remember that. Oh my god, they're Alex Jones fans now.
But I remember when I read that CNN article and I was like, yo, I was like, I've made fun of the guy all this time for this, and he wasn't totally wrong.
Oh, that was one of the funniest memes on the internet. The Herd of the Frogs gay.
Anyways,
But-
that's our alien discussion. I'm just like I'm like, because I don't get on Reddit. I don't get on all the deep corners of the internet. I read like Twitter and whatever the people say on Twitter and the articles being shared on Twitter. That's what I read. So I was just like, I ran across this and I was like, wait a minute, what? Because like I hadn't heard about it anywhere else since then.
There's some interesting things on Reddit. It's good. It's a good learning tool to
Kyle
ask.
likes
Some
the
interesting things on
NSFW stuff.
YouTube.
Yeah, yeah.
Andy Kyle likes those NSFW threads on Reddit.
I know what that means.
No, not safe for work. Yeah, okay. I had to think about it. Yeah. No, but if I was like 15, God, Reddit would have been a fucking lifesaver, bro.
Would have saved a couple of computers.
Yeah, whatever. LimeWire, man. I burn up a few computers from viruses from
Music.
allegedly,
Yes,
allegedly
music.
downloading some mixtapes. Allegedly.
Well, speaking of Co Wetzel, I don't know if you guys, I know we had talked about this briefly off the air, but we hadn't really discussed it. Is Co Wetzel's opened up a new bar in Fort Worth, and he it's called Co Wetzel's Riot Room. So like, it looks really fun. Let me see if I can pull it up here so you guys can see it. But it's supposedly they're gonna have it's like that area there. I'm showing it to the guys for those listening. And they have like a DJ. I think they're gonna have some bands playing in there. It's open during the day as a restaurant and bar for anyone, and then after like 10 p.m., it's 21 and up. TVs everywhere. It looks like a cool aesthetic. Somewhere
Is it in
I'd
the
like
stockyards?
I don't know. I don't know much about Fort Worth. I've never been there.
That's where that's like where Billy Bob's is and all that stuff.
It'd be cool if it was close by, but
how do we
I'd
pronounce
like to go
that
out there.
street?
Well,
Is that Fuck Street?
that'd be hilarious if it was a Foch, maybe. Foch.
Fuck Street, yeah.
Folk. I don't know. Well, actually, it's probably folk because like Coke is spelled that way. But folk. KOCHFOCH.
Could be Spanish. It is Texas.
Could be Spanish. But it looks fun. I'd like to go out there at some point. And which brought me to this, where Co Wetzel was like doing a show and he's hosting an after party at the Riot Room after the fourth show this Friday. And Andy, I think this is the show that Treaty Oak Revival is opening.
I'm pretty sure it is. Is it was it Dickey's Arena?
Yeah, Dickey's Arena.
Yeah, Treaty Oak's opening.
That would be a sick show to be able to go to. Too bad Texas is a little bit far away. But I mean, I'd like to get out to Co Wetzel's Riot Room. Have you guys heard much about it?
I've heard a little.
This is the first I'm hearing about it.
Kyle, I think you would like it. Trying to see if I can.
I'm good looking
Here on the
food.
website.
I'm getting hungry all of a sudden.
I mean, think of it like kind of like almost like Hooters in a way too, because I'm trying to show you see if they have it on the website again. But the way the young ladies dress to work there after like 10 p.m. It's kind of like a tilted kilt kind of vibe.
So you don't go there for the wings, you go there for the scenery.
I guess. But
You sign up for the newsletter.
yeah, I don't think I really need to get on the newsletter for it. But it kind of looks like a barn on the outside.
Yeah, it does. It's an interesting looking room. Massive barn doors on the front.
Andy, maybe we'll take a trip out there at some point. I would say Kyle too, but Kyle never wants to leave Running Rapids.
Co did what every guy talks about doing. He started a bar.
Like even what is that? Is that
Is it the cocktail menu and some blue jeans?
Yeah, it looks like it.
It's interesting.
So apparently, he has pictures of himself in the ladies' bathroom on all the walls. That's hilarious. And it's got like girls in the guys' bathroom.
That's funny.
Yeah.
The fact that his pictures on the women's restroom is hilarious. Is
Oh, I know.
that a middle
What?
finger? Yeah, it is a middle finger. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, the Texas AF thing.
Yeah,
But
that's
no,
nice.
that'd be fun to go to. Like see a concert at Fort Worth and then be able to go over to the Riot Room. It's a hell of a name too.
I gotta check out the reviews. I gotta read the reviews.
Let me look here.
I feel like
Google
if
reviews. I feel like
like
it's probably just gonna be more standard review. It's a badass bar. Has bottle service, which is expensive, but delivered by an army of bottle girls. Food was fantastic. Jalapeno poppers were awesome. The chicken was moist and had great flavor. The green beans and mac and cheese were good, but not life changing. And that was by Jaybird.
He's a local guide.
I feel like if you like someone were to try to arrest you for fighting at that bar, it's called the Riot Room. What did you think was going to happen?
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're right. The name
Food is great. Bartenders are nice and they're all hot.
Which I missed that one. Where was that at? Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Peyton Bagley,
great place to go get food or day drink or get completely smashed.
Oh, thank you for the review, Peyton.
Look, he went in there. He went in for lunch.
You know his ass went back to work just trashed.
Oh, probably. Oh gosh, some of these people in America really can't spell.
No, they cannot.
Reading these reviews,
I feel like bar closes at 2. Massive brawl starts at 2:03. If you don't want to be involved, get out.
Can you imagine this place on what is it? The 16th. Oh God, I'm blanking on the day.
February 26th.
February 26th. Yeah.
No, it's February 28th, 2016.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
You call yourselves co-Wetzel fans.
Sorry, I'm an idiot. I apologize. I said the 16th, and then Andy still got it wrong. So who's really more at fault, me or Andy?
No,
I got the 2 right. Kyle got the 6 right.
Andy.
No, I was wrong. It's the 28th. So. Yeah,
it's 2016.
That's true. Yeah,
it's true. It's 2016.
I got one letter out of the one number of the whole song right. Congratulations to me. Which one's the leap day? Is it 28 or 29?
29.
29. Okay, so it's always a 28. Okay, that was a blonde moment.
But Andy, speaking of Treaty Oak Revival, they're opening for him there. But you and I kind of went down the rabbit hole when you came to Raleigh the other weekend about some of these new artists. Some of them that we checked out, they were a little bit more on the rock side, more of the ones that we listened to. But I don't know how to. I've been trying to find it. I don't know how to pronounce the band name, but Kyle, we're gonna send it to you because we're probably like play some of their stuff and have something on it here in the future. But there's this band. What was it? Gannon Freeman, and it's all caps, all like in a bunch of letters, like CCREV. I don't know how to pronounce that or what it stands for, but they were kind of like how would you describe it, Andy? Because like they were kind of like definitely
like Treaty Oak.
Definitely rock, but had enough roots mixed in to kind of where it sounded like Texas.
Gannon but Freeman, it was rock. And the CC Rev.
Yeah. It was similar to Treaty Oak, but they're ones that we were listening to. We kind of liked. The other was that I like that I've been listening to a little bit. It's kind of like a good mix of country and punk music. Is the band Laredo. I did dig their sound. But we were, because I don't even remember how it came up, Andy. We were driving around Cookout, and we just started playing this stuff.
How did y'all find them? Just Google Treaty Oaks tour and see who was on the tour with them?
I went, actually, I think how I found Gannon Freeman is I was looking at their tour dates, seeing who was opening for them, and then they popped up in the like at the bottom of Spotify on Treaty Oaks page, like the similar artist or whatever it is, and they were in there. Spotify is usually pretty good about the similar artist thing.
Yeah,
they usually know what they're talking about.
Yeah, they are.
I'm gonna check them out. Yeah, I saved them.
But yeah, we'll check them out, and we'll probably have something on it later. But it was we had talked about a while back, we need to find some more like new finds. And Andy brought up a good point that sometimes we have to go to the deep dark corners of the music world to find people that we haven't at least heard of before, or at least somebody who's just starting out, because we tend to, not that we're like the most independent, like we only listen to independent the people that have 100 followers. Like we do, compared to the average music listener, we're pretty far down the rabbit hole.
We're a good medium.
Yeah, because you're right. It's good medium is a good way to say it, because we do listen to some popular shit and some stuff underground, or at least surface level, even if it isn't super far underground. But which brings a good segue into something that we said we were going to talk about when we returned back from our Memorial Day break. We had a brief little back and forth on this last episode. The question of what constitutes selling out? What makes an artist a sellout? We had a little bit of a disagreement briefly on the podcast. We wanted to save it. We haven't really talked about it. We wanted to save it for recording. Kyle, I want you to make your point first on this, because it was your idea. In your mind, what constitutes an artist being a sellout or them selling out? Sellout definitely has a lot more of a negative connotation than saying they are selling out.
So I think there's 3 sub-labels of selling out. So you have the obvious one of you change your whole identity to get that bag, as you would say. I think that's probably the least common one. The second one is, I think, where artists change their sound completely. Not minor changes, but like completely change their sound. One example I would give of that is when Metallica went from really hard rock to some soft ballads, and people hated it, and then they immediately changed because they called them a sellout. And the other one is, which is the most controversial one, is towing a political or not necessarily all political, but issue line where people know that's not who you always are. And that's the least common one, because not a lot of people know artists personally.
Yeah, we don't really know if it's legit or not,
Yeah, that's the hardest one to tell. I think the most common one is when artists completely change their sound to procure the bag. There's like some subsects in there where they start, and the criticism I have isn't really fair, but when you go from being a really independent artist to all of a sudden you're jumping on labels with more mainstream people, and it's unfair to necessarily always criticize someone for that, because you do got to make money. But where I think it crosses in the line of sellout is when you could just completely change an identity or a sound. For example, Thomas Rhett. He completely changed the music he made from his first album to his next 3. He tried to bring it back, but he still got some. I mean, T-shirt to Beer with Jesus is a completely different sound.
It is, and even if
he sold out. He sold out.
Well, I think he was never. I never think that he bought in, but
I would almost say even you could put in like a Blake Shelton or a Chris Young in that
Blake
same.
Shelton's a good example in my opinion, but Chris Young too. Actually, now that you say that, those are two good examples. Thomas Rhett was never a full-on country artist, because even though I liked that first record, because it came out in 2013, we were all 19 years old and in college. It was fun to play at the pool. But
yes,
get me some of that. Go back and listen to that song.
Yes, that's fair. That's fair.
That's very pop country, but it's different pop country from what he was putting out later on when he tried to be pop country Bruno Mars. So to your point you're making, he went with whatever the trendy sound was.
Yes. I wouldn't even put like a Florida Georgia Line in there, because they've always been the same.
They've always been the same.
So they're not. No. Like I said, I used the example of Metallica when they went from really hard rock to, I think it's the Black Album, when they went with a lot of soft melodies like One and other things. People got super pissed at them. They changed back. But Blake Shelton, I mean, I'm going to get a lot of flack for this. And I don't even, this is like the one hole in my argument is Taylor Swift, because she changed, but I think she changed for the better. She's much better at pop and some, I don't really know if you would call it like alt rock or alt.
She does like
she's got some
kind of folky rock.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And I think it's better than her country music.
Yeah, I can agree with that, but because their country music was never that country to begin with.
Sure.
That was always the argument. So to your point, I agree. I actually 100% agree with that last statement there, because
she's the one holding my argument. Yeah, she's a hole in my argument. She's being more
honest about what her music is.
And yeah, I mean, some people do it for the better, but she's one of the biggest artists in the world, if not the biggest, I would argue. So she's the one kind of chink in my armor. But those are how I would define sellout. You don't really see the first where they just completely change an identity. I'm hard pressed to find people that are like that. The most common is when they just completely change their sound.
Yeah. Andy?
I actually kind of for the most part agree with Kyle. That was a way better argument than I thought it was going to be. I didn't see that coming.
I agree with him too, because I'm gonna call him out now. This is different than what he was saying last episode.
I'm trying to remember what I said.
Sit on it and think.
I'm trying to remember.
I agree with him this time.
I'm trying to.
Last time you said that when an artist starts getting notoriety and they start making money and having a bunch of fans come to their show, that they're a sellout.
Is that what I said? Really? Okay. Now. BJ,
goes, well, Bobby, I was probably high when I said that. You can come a second. You can come third.
I'm pretty sure we brought up BJ. I think BJ is kind of towing the line on the third category, which is not the fair. I said it, yeah, right. It was not the fairest criticism.
I don't think he is, because if you're talking about like his Twitter stuff, like I think he's legitimately that political in real life.
That may be true. And he's also got in with a lot of more mainstream artists, which I think is the fairest criticism of him. But
he hasn't, because I mean, Muscadine is technically an independent artist.
I hear him on Sirius XM.
Yeah, but that's satellite radio.
I know, but
they're not playing BJ Barham on QDR.
That's fair. And look, I said it's an unfair criticism. But, to some people, there are people that are just ridiculous, where they're just like, he's got more than 50 people showing up his show. I don't like him anymore.
A flip side of what you were saying with BJ is John Rich. John Rich.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
While I believe that John Rich is that political, and I believe that he is that right wing, I think he's putting out right wing songs now for the older white people to share it on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Lewis.
I mean, that's what he's doing.
Aaron Lewis did the same thing for a while.
Aaron Lewis did the same shit.
Yeah, I mean, he was like making music for like blue collar bros to stick it to the man, and we hate pride and all this other crap. I mean, he absolutely did it, and Aaron Lewis is not a popular figure for the folks on the left side of the argument that love Stained.
Yeah, but his political music, just like when I criticize political music from people on the left, like, one, I don't fucking care what their politics are, and two, like, I don't want to hear it in the music. Like, I don't really have a big issue like when artists on left or right go on Twitter and go on their tirades, because I can choose not to. I can choose not to listen to their music, sure, but the music I'm seeking out for a reason. I don't seek out their Twitter,
Sure.
So I don't really care if they go on political tirades, whether it's John Rich or BJ Barham, because that's just their Twitter, right?
Yeah.
But I don't like it when it starts getting so pervasive in people's lyrics, a la John Rich, a la Andy. Big fan of this guy.
BJ was pretty pervasive in his last album.
BJ's wasn't that on the nose, because it wasn't, because me and Andy have a prime example. Andy, the guy's name, I can't think of it. We've seen him in concert, or I've seen him in concert open for American Aquarium before. He put out a fantastic album in like 2012.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
He has that song "Nikki's a Republican Now." That
Gosh, what is that
album
guy's
was
name?
garbage.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I haven't seen him, but I do know who. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Fantastic music. Let me just look that song. He's got some fantastic music, but that record won't it, bro.
That was the first thing I heard from him too.
See, and that's sad because you heard politics, and then you don't.
And I was
listen
out.
To the rest. Yeah, but in reality, Will Hogue.
Yep.
Will Hogue. Will Hogue has one of my favorite records from about 10 years ago. It's a fantastic album. I still listen to that album. But that album he put out that was all political songs. And it ain't even because it's a left-wing thing, because like I said, I can't stand it when it's right-wing either, because John Rich's political stuff can take a long walk off a short pier in the music for me too.
Sure.
It's just a matter of I can't stand. Like, it's not me telling them to shut up and sing either. It's just because, like I said, they can do what they want on stage or on Twitter, but I can't stand hearing about it in the song, bro. That ain't what I want. That ain't what I want to hear.
So my whole opinion, and we've gone off on a tirade, but my whole opinion on political stories, songs, games, etc. If you do it subtly, and then at the end of either the song or the game or the story, you close the message where you're like, okay.
If it makes you think,
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But if you're just like screw Republicans, I'm like, all right,
screw Democrats, screw Republicans.
I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna check it out.
Because it's not thoughtful. It's not thoughtful.
It's not. Yeah.
It's stupid. It doesn't make you cool. You're preaching to a very small subset on either the left or the right. You just come across like a
jackass.
A jackass.
Yeah.
You come across like a jackass. You're a pompous jackass because you're not doing it. I agree with you, Kyle, 100% on that. Because if you do it in a smart way, even if you disagree with it, that just makes you think about it.
Yeah,
that's what. Okay. But instead, all too often, they fall into the pompous jackass routine.
Yeah. But like I said, the two prime examples of the two biggest is Blake Shelton and Chris Young.
Of selling out, yeah.
Yeah, their early stuff is fucking so good. So good.
Get mad you talking about his boy Chris Young like that.
Bro, his shit from like 2010 or 2011, I can't remember that album. God, it was so good. And then Dustin Lynch is one of them.
Yeah, Dustin Lynch was always kind of like that. He put out one song. It was a bait and switch on a lead single.
That's okay. That might be fair.
Yeah, I'll give him borderline. I'd agree with lean towards Logan.
Because Cowboys and Angels was a good song, but then he came out with a single called "She Cranks My Tractor."
Yeah,
I think there's an argument to be made, but I mean, you can make an argument for it, but Logan's probably more right.
Yeah.
A logical argument could be made.
Chris Young's is interesting, Kyle, because his just went from solid neo-traditional mainstream country in 2009 to just boring vanilla music, Yeah. It's just like it's music that I don't listen to, and if I hear it, I don't remember it.
He went from being really good to being like a knockoff Property Brothers guy. He looks just like that guy.
when they made him lose the cowboy hat, that was a shame.
Yeah, I mean, he is one of the most frustrating people, and he was one of the first people I thought about when I read this. I know Gary Allen had some weird ass song.
Yeah,
a couple years ago.
I think it was Hangover Tonight.
That
brings up a whole nother side of things where it's an aging artist that puts out one or two bad songs that's trying to chase trends just to stay relevant.
Yeah.
I tend to give them a little bit more of a pass because they were at the tail end of their career. They put out a great discography for many years. Because Joe Nichols did the same thing with a couple of songs.
That's right.
But that's more forgivable in my mind than, Blake Shelton mid-career just going straight. And I like Blake Shelton's personality. I think he's hilarious. But the music he put out for a handful of albums there just was like, it was more of a caricature of country than it was actual country. Yeah. And that part kind of frustrated me. But like, I hear you on that with like, aging artists have done that at times where they put out a song to try to stay relevant towards the very end of their career.
Yeah,
One
I'd
last
forgotten.
week.
I'd forgotten the name of that song. It was the Gary Allen song. It was fucking awful. Well, I remember. It's just.
And I
Awful.
love Gary Allen.
Oh yeah, he had some bangers, bro. But I mean, that's kind of how I come down on the sellout thing.
I'm generally with you on that, like Andy said, because the argument you made this week, I'm on board with for the most part.
Oh yeah, good take Kyle in the house.
Good take Kyle. He's now good take Kyle this week
in the house. Yeah.
We gave him 2 weeks to prepare that little monologue, Andy.
Hey man, I put it in. I put it. I broke it down. I was like, yes, 310. Now I feel pretty prepared. Yes.
Do you think that when they license their music gets licensed out for commercials, is that selling out?
It depends on. All right. Actually, I'm going to revamp my argument. There's a fourth tier. And the only reason the fourth tier exists is what we saw about, what was it, a year or two ago with Who Sings Young Man? They played at all the Trump rallies like, young man, there's no need to be down.
The YMCA?
No, Village People. Yeah, they're incredibly
but that song is the YMCA.
Okay.
It's not called Young Man.
I didn't know the name of it. I was just thinking it. Yeah. But those people that
it's a good song.
Yeah, they're incredible.
Everybody can't help but do the YMCA with their arms, dude.
But my thing is like
Kyle doesn't know the letters. He can't do it.
He's like YOUNG, young man.
That's right. The fourth tier is the people that license their music out, get the check, and then complain on Twitter. That's the fourth tier of selling out. Like, was it Neil Young? Bro, you were still getting a check. I'm sorry.
He brought his music back to Spotify too. That old Joe Rogan thing.
Yeah,
I hate when people virtue signal like hell on that too.
You still got the check, and like, I mean, the people are like, "Oh, I can't believe Donald Trump played my music at a rally. We're upset." Like, okay, but you still got paid. You know, like you took the money, and then you virtue signaled. That's like the fourth tier of selling out. I mean,
and also, like, nobody ever called really Neil Young out on this, that he wasn't giving up a lot of money by taking away the streaming. Like, they don't make that much in the grand scheme of things on that anyways. So, especially at this point in his life where he's probably made a lot of money, it really wasn't a big thing for him to be like, I'm giving up this revenue.
Yeah. And my last example of the third tier, which is the political thing, Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, yeah.
They are now Rage for the Machine.
For the Machine.
Yeah. They, in the 90s, they were like anti the man. Now they're like, yeah, we suck the man off. Yeah, they're the biggest example of the third tier where they're just like, God, they're so political. And it's just like, oh my God. And you sold out because now you're just all in the tank.
Yeah, I mean, you see that a lot from people in music, people in the media. They just become shills.
Yeah, and
I respect people from both sides of the societal and political divide when they don't shill. You know what I mean? When they're not just a regurgitation of whatever.
Oh yeah, if you just say "fuck you" to everyone.
Yeah, they call each of them out when it's like they're full of shit. I like that. When the people are just like regurgitate whatever talking points their team tells them to, is frustrating.
It's like Fred Durst. He's just a psychopath.
Well, he has a lot of bad takes.
Oh yeah, he's a psychopath. He thinks Vladimir Putin's a good guy.
Yeah, but he didn't come to mind when I was like, oh, when you criticize everyone. I don't think the Fred Durst came to mind for me.
No, when I think of criticize everyone, I think of Trey Stone and Matt Parker.
Yeah. South Park guys, for those that don't know.
They just go after everyone. They don't give a fuck.
Even Seth MacFarlane from Family Guy. He's done
yeah.
Because it's funny. Like,
it is funny.
We need to make America funny again. Like,
and Saturday Night Live, to an extent, used to be that way.
Sensitive now. Like, we need to make America funny again.
We do, yeah. Not South.
We should start selling T-shirts. Mafa, make America funny again. Well, I mean, that's kind of what Bert Kreischer has been saying, though. He's been doing the media rounds because his movie The Machine came out last weekend, I think. And he was saying that he was listening to, because him and Joe Rogan are really good friends. He was listening to Rogan talk on an episode, and Rogan was saying that, you know, comedy just doesn't go hard anymore. People need to start making comedy go hard. And Bert says that he was over there in like Sweden or wherever he was recording the filming the movie, and he said that he heard that, and he goes, in the middle of the night before they were supposed to shoot, and he goes, he read his first scene, and he said, he's right. He goes, this isn't going hard. This is soft. He goes, and I'm not going to do this. So he woke up his cousin, who is like one of the writers. He said, we got to rewrite this first scene and make it go hard. He goes, they did it. He brought it to his producers and the director. They loved it. He said, the first scene of the movie goes hard. He goes, it's time for us to make comedy funny again. And I was just like, because I love Bert Kreischer. His stand-up routine's hilarious.
Yeah. He's a good guy.
But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you on the overall. I don't 100% agree, but I'm with you overall on the.
What do you? Okay, yeah, I know the point you disagree. I think. When was it again?
With some of that stuff, like I'm not probably not as rigid on some of it. Is what I'm saying. Like
Okay.
I agree with the overarching point, but I'm not as rigid on it. I'm a little bit more forgiving when people get mainstream backing or label backing and everything, because I don't see it as a bad thing that they have more money to record and things like that. I understand the argument, even if I don't agree with it.
My when it comes to licensing for commercials, I don't really know if I have a,
because I mean Willie and Waylon did it. I want to say it was a Taco Bell commercial or something like that they were in at one point, and then friggin' love Bob Seger. Bob Seger was the voice of a generation for Silverados, like a rock.
yeah. I saw a phenomenal video the other day. It was like a 90s Chevrolet truck going through a tornado. They covered it. Yeah, it's phenomenal.
I don't know on that. I could see like a potential fifth tier. I don't know. This comes to mind because it's similar. Is like the only example I can think of is like the Super Bowl, where people play like medleys. Like they play less than half of a song and just play like a bunch of them together. I mean, I feel like if the song can't be played in full, like there's like commercials is different than that, but it's still sort of the same thing. Like the song should be in like as a whole, not just chopped up.
I don't know if that I understand your point, because I don't think nobody wants to be sitting there through a damn 3 minute and 43-second commercial just so the song can play.
I'm not, but I'm thinking that's similar. Like the Super Bowl is the only example I can think of. People don't play full songs.
Well, they can't though. They don't have enough time.
Yeah, was it 30 minutes?
It's not a concert. It's a performance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't know. But I don't know. That's just.
Now, where I draw the line on licensing for commercials is when they make songs for a commercial or a TikTok.
Oh, now, yeah, that's very different. It's different with Bob Seger with "Like a Rock," which is a great song.
That's a licensed song. Yeah,
versus someone like
Applebee's,
Walker Hayes, and his Applebee's jingle that he purposefully, in my mind, it was for the Applebee's sponsorship, and then it becomes a big hit on radio. That was just awful.
I mean, I even think like Wallen has gotten close to it when he does like certain songs for TikTok. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, see, I can't stand that. And that is a lot of the problem with some of the labels, because there was, I can't remember which major pop star it was, but they were saying recently that your label doesn't even want you to be able to put out a record or a single until you have a song go viral on TikTok at part of a trend, which I think is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, that has no bearing on whether.
The old man is getting riled up. Yeah.
Oh, I get very angry about a lot of Gen Z shit because I think it's stupid.
Yeah, why do I want to listen to 30 seconds of the song when I can listen to the whole song?
I don't get me wrong, I don't hate TikTok. I just think that basing your life and basing your career around TikTok is stupid. Like doing things just for the sake of it. Well, this will be TikTok, so I'm going to make the song this way so it's good on TikTok instead of it just being a good song.
Yes.
Lainey Wilson's got what? Ram now? Is that still
I think
going
so.
on?
Yeah.
She also did a deal with, wasn't it, Buffalo Trace?
I don't know on that. She got a
I
Tractor
think it
Supply
was.
commercial.
The Buffalo Trace thing was during Yellowstone, Andy. I'm surprised you missed that.
Well, she looks good on TV and everywhere else. Fucking Duck Hodges, man.
I like Lainey. Lainey's got good music.
She does have great music, yeah.
Yep.
When we have
Yeah.
people like Lainey Wilson becoming big in mainstream country, that's a net positive for country music. So, well, there's a link in the description of this podcast that'll tell us, click here to leave us a voicemail. Click on that. Tell us what you think or your rationale for what is selling out, what makes an artist to sell out. We'd love to hear from you. Be sure to give us 5 stars and a great review on Spotify and Apple Podcast and Amazon. Click subscribe while you're at it. And check out the website, countryandcoldcans.com, for blog content merch.
Tell me why I'm wrong.
Yeah, tell Kyle why he's wrong. That'll be a funny
My at is POUTS. US.
For this
On Twitter.
episode of Country and Cold Cans, I'm Logan sitting here with Trucker Andy and this week's surprisingly decent take off. See you next time.